Live from the Ball State News Center, this is NewsLink Indiana in high definition.
Good evening and welcome to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Brenton Roy.
And I'm Phylisia Donaldson. Thank you for joining us.
The Ball State University Prevention Team hosted a drunk driving simulation event for Alcohol Awareness Week this afternoon. Kelsey Dickerson has a story.
Students came out to the Brenton Plaza at Ball State this afternoon to test out their skills driving with drunk goggles. Peer health educator for the health center, Marissa Locke, explains the event.
So this is Alcohol Awareness Week, and for peer health educators, alcohol is one of our major topics, and we're just trying to educate kids about the dangers of driving when they're intoxicated. And so the simulator is set up so they can get a feel of what how bad their driving is. Since they're sober, they can feel it, where when you're drunk, you don't know that it's that bad.
Senior Colin Clayton tells us about his experience with the drunk driving stimulation.
It was kind of fun, and everything looked further than it actually was, at least through the goggles. And I can gladly say I've never been as drunk as those goggles made me.
Patrolman for Ball State University Police, Mike Lucas, says how this event affects students.
It's about a 15-second course, and we get people hitting the cones and driving too fast, almost hitting Pruitt Hall over here, and it just shows the seriousness of drunk driving in particular, and alcohol use in general. We've had some really good feedback here today, and a lot of people, first thing out of their mouth when we reach the finish line is, man, I'm never going to do this, and that's exactly what we want to hear, and my response is go tell all your friends.
In Muncie, I'm Kelsey Dickerson, NewsLink, Indiana.
The prevention team will be hosting another event for Alcohol Awareness Week tomorrow in the atrium from noon to 2 p.m., where you can test your accuracy for pouring standard drink servings.
The play Defamation came to Ball State this evening, but it was more than just a play. Students came to Pruitt Hall to watch the old-fashioned courtroom drama that explores the issue of race, religion, gender, class, and the law. The audience was able to interact with the actors as the jury. The civil suit is about an African-American woman who sues a Jewish North Shore real estate developer for defamation. This play was sponsored by the Multicultural Center and the Division of Student Affairs.
A Muncie man has been granted permission to operate his haunted house after an initial shutdown order from the city. Michael Kine, owner of the Oregon Trail Haunted Attraction, was granted permission to close a section of the street to accommodate visitors. The attraction has historically raised money for Second Harvest Food Bank, Inspire Academy, and the family of a man injured in a motorcycle accident. Barring any last-minute action from the city building commissioner, Oregon Trail will be open in the 2000 block of South Grant Street for the next 2 Friday and Saturday evenings.
The Muncie Public Library works with an organization called Connection Corner. They are trying to build awareness about the different programs they have to offer. Brittany Carlin has more on the story.
I'm standing outside of Muncie Public Library's Connection Corner, where I just spoke with the director, Rebecca Parker, about all the cool programs they have going on in the month of October. They will be having an event at the very end of the month to celebrate Halloween, along with many other things coming up in November.
Connection Corner is an all-digital tech library branch. Our ethos is teaching people how to use technology, but doing so creatively and through projects instead of just teaching at them. And a lot of that means patient introductions to computers, to internet use, and to applications that many professionals find to be basic everyday applications, but for others are completely new and sometimes bewildering. It can be intimidating if you're behind on technology to admit that and come and ask for help, and that's what Connection Corner is all about, is that we offer non-judgmental, patient learning that meets you where you are.
Connection Corner provides a lot of different programs. Next month, they will be offering computer basic programs for adults about Pinterest, Facebook, Windows, and Mac computers. They are also trying to expand their community outside of the Whiteling neighborhood. They have a lot of support already, but would like to help more people in the Muncie area.
This month at Connection Corner, we are having an amazing Halloween party. It's called our Halloweennesday Extravaganza, and that's going to be on Wednesday, the 28th of October from 3:30 to 5:30 p.m. All ages are welcome. We're going to have games and science experiments and delicious treats.
If you would like to get more connected with the Connection Corner or Muncie Public Library, you can go onto their website, munciepubliclibrary.org, where you can find all the information you may need. From NewsLink Indiana, I'm Brittany Carlin.
To learn more about their Halloween festivities, visit their website or call 765-747-8216.
Phylisia, it seemed like we got our first taste of fall weather, but it seems like today those warm temperatures we're still trying to hold on. And I was hoping Adam could tell us what we could expect.
Yeah, see, I was actually getting used to the cold weather, but then this happened. Adam?
Yeah, we've had some warmer and above average temperatures so far for the month of October. We've seen that a lot, and that sometimes happens in our transition months such as October and the fall season. So we will see those above average and below average temperatures for the season. But in the last 14 hours, we saw a lot of this sunlight, which helped us get up to that high of 72 today, which was cooler than a lot of surrounding Indiana areas. So a lot of that sunny condition helped warm up those temperatures, but right now we have clear conditions at 64 degrees right now, so pretty mild tonight because of these south winds at 10 miles an hour. And that's because of this high pressure down to our southeast that's keeping it clear and also moving that air up into our area. As you can see, there's not many clouds in our area, but there is this rain off to our west, which I will talk about coming up, as well as a warm trend on the way. And then I'll talk about your family weekend coming up and a cool down possible for the start of next week. All that and more coming up, but first, back to you.
Thanks, Adam. And coming up, an update on what's going on in Washington.
And did a famous 1980s movie predict the 2015 World Series winner? Coming up after the break.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
It's a surprising week in Washington with two leaders announcing decisions that could reshape the political landscape. Vice President Joe Biden said he is not going to seek the Democratic nomination for president. On Capitol Hill, Representative Paul Ryan announced he is willing to run in next week's election to select a new House Speaker. Polo Sandoval reports on the latest developments on the nation's capital.
Unfortunately, I believe we're out of time, the time necessary to mount a winning campaign for the nomination.
The vice president took to the White House Rose Garden, sharing what was perhaps the most awaited decision in Washington. The window for a Biden bid for president has closed. Flanked by his wife and President Obama, Vice President Biden promised he won't stay silent leading up to next year's presidential election.
We intend to spend the next 15 months fighting for what we've always cared about. I am absolutely certain we are fully capable of accomplishing extraordinary things.
The vice president's decision not to run is only the latest highly anticipated announcement out of Washington this week. Outgoing House Speaker John Boehner scheduled to vote next week to elect a successor, ending weeks of leadership limbo on Capitol Hill.
The conference election for Speaker will be next Wednesday, and the 28th, and on Thursday, the 29th, the election will occur on the floor.
Wisconsin Congressman Paul Ryan finally agreed to run as long as some conditions are met, including full support from his party and a schedule that doesn't interfere with his family time.
I have left this decision in their hands, and should they agree with these requests, then I am happy and I am willing to get to work.
These key decisions from both Biden and Ryan could provide some stability in a political season that's already proven to be full of surprises. Reporting in Washington, I'm Polo Sandoval.
The Chicago Cubs are one loss away from being eliminated from the Major League Baseball playoffs. And that would mean a prediction made in the movie Back to the Future Part 2 won't come true after all. Paul Verkaman explains.
How far are you going?
About 30 years.
Of all the wacky visions in the Back to the Future trilogy, perhaps none was more silly than the Chicago Cubs winning a World Series.
Wait a minute. Cubs win World Series.
Co-screenwriter Bob Gale came up with this absurd idea for the 1989 film and the lead character.
I'm thinking, okay, Marty McFly needs to be inspired as to how he could make a fortune by being in the future. He's a 17-year-old kid. What's he going to be thinking about? Well, he's not going to be thinking about the stock market. He's going to be thinking about sports.
And the Cubs still haven't won a championship since 1908. But jump in the DeLorean, time travel to now. The Chicago Cubs could advance to the World Series by beating the Mets.
What did you just say?
I said I wish I could go back to the beginning of the season. Put some money on the Cubbies.
Back to the present and the Puente Hills Mall. Twin Pines in the movie. James Raitt placed multiple bets on this season's Cubs winning the World Series, and he drove here from Arizona to take selfies with 2 movie props just put on display.
When I got an opportunity to see this and then go back and put a little money on the Cubbies like they do in the movie, it felt like a great chance to not only root for my team, but root for my movie.
You hang out in this mall long enough and more strange things happen. You are...
My name is Martin.
And you're from?
I'm from Sweden.
And for some reason, you had to come all the way here to see this.
Absolutely.
What is it about this movie that gets you so excited?
For the first, I like film. And for second, I really like the DeLorean car.
So while Martin cares about cars, not Cubs, the screenwriter is definitely thinking about how the Cubs ousted his favorite team, the Cardinals, from the playoffs.
Quoting someone who wisely defined mixed emotions as watching your mother-in-law drive off the cliff in your brand new Mercedes. It's been fun. The idea that we made this absurd prediction 26 years ago, and it might actually come true.
Will the nice weather stick around? When NewsLink Indiana returns, we'll have a full look at your weather forecast.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. Phylisia, it seems like we haven't gotten rain in so long.
It has been a while. Adam, will we see rain in the forecast?
I do have some rain in the forecast coming up, which I will talk about soon. First, I will talk about these warmer temperatures we've been seeing, though. Just like I was talking about earlier, Muncie got up to a high of 72 today, but Fort Wayne, Shelbyville, Bloomington all at 77. And over in even Champaign, Illinois, they got up to 83 degrees today, which is above normal. For this time of year in Muncie, we're normally looking around 63 degrees, so we're 9 degrees warmer than that. And like I was talking about too, during these seasonal transitions between summer and winter, we see a lot of those above average and below average temperatures throughout those months. So we could see some variations continuing, but this warm is coming from the Gulf and eastern Texas coming up into the Midwest, which is why we've been seeing those temperatures. But right along this boundary of warm and cold air, we are seeing that rain, which is going to be our next rainmaker coming up. This will start to move closer to our area for Friday, bringing the clouds in Friday afternoon, Friday evening. But as we get closer to Saturday morning, we'll start to see this cold front start to move in, which will bring some scattered rain to our area throughout Saturday morning and early afternoon and evening. But this rain won't affect the Ball State football game this Saturday too much. We'll see that scattered rain at the beginning of the game. Kickoff is at 3 p.m. for family weekend. But as the game continues, that cold front will move through, decreasing the temperatures quite a bit. Even though we'll start at 70, we'll see that temperature decrease, so you'll want to carry your coats and hoodies. But also that rain will move out of the area by later in the game as well. So as we look at Muncie right now, we are at 64 degrees with clear skies. Still a little bit breezy conditions out of the south at 10 miles an hour, which is why it's still staying mild tonight. And as the night continues, we will see these temperatures cool down a little bit as we go further throughout the night. So the low is, I'm forecasting around 57, but it will remain mild. For tomorrow, we are going to see partly sunny skies with a mild day, a lot like today, high temperature of 71 degrees. And then as we get into the 7-day forecast, like I said, it's going to remain mild throughout the first couple days, but come Saturday, once that cold front moves through, we have a lot bigger cool down for the start of next week and even into the start of the next work week with another chance of rain on Wednesday for the area.
Well, Adam, I can't say I'm looking forward to that rain, but coming up in sports, Delta's volleyball team prepares for the postseason.
And we will take a look at high school football playoffs.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but things changed. Teaching didn't seem that cool anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Amazing things are happening in teaching, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Good evening and welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Josh Shelton with sports. The Delta Eagles have worked hard all week to prepare themselves for the postseason. Aaliyah English caught up with the team as they put the finishing touches on their game plan.
Delta Eagles have spent their week gearing up for sectional play. Senior Audrey Whitting says the team has one goal in mind.
Aggressive with our serves and practice, and we're really working on defense and being able to hit a really hard cross-court shot because our ultimate goal is to be third down.
Ending their season with a win against Columbia Heights, head coach Heidi Ziegler is confident going into sectional play.
They're ready for this postseason tournament. They're ready to make a big run. We're upperclassmen dominant, so they've been here before. So they're ready to go. They're ready to play, and I think they'll be ready for the
The Eagles will play Hamilton Heights in the first round of sectionals Thursday at 6 p.m. in a neutral location. In Muncie, Aaliyah English, NewsLink, Indiana.
The Eagles hope to be playing well into the postseason. High school sectional playoffs are kicking off this week, so let's take a look at some upcoming games around the area. The Delta Eagles football team is recovering from last week's blowout where they gave up 66 points to finish the season 6-3. That record is good enough for the best in the sectional 22 tournament. The Eagles will be taking on Greenfield Central, who they beat 33-14 just 2 weeks ago. Delta will look to capitalize on the matchup on Friday. Yorktown is limping into the playoffs after losing their last 4 games coming into this week. The 2014 sectional champions will have their hands full as they take on the 8-1 Peru Tigers, who are roaring as they ride a 4-game winning streak coming into the playoffs. Yorktown will hope to turn their season around come Friday. Westdale's defense has the momentum going into Friday's game after they shut out Anderson Prep Academy 28-0. The Warriors do have a tough first-round opponent, 8-1 Adams Central High School. The Flying Jets, however, are reeling as they suffered their first loss of the season last week. The Warriors and the Jets will square off under lights on Friday. Muncie Central is off this week, but will take on the Kokomo Wildcats on October 30th. In professional news, the Blue Jays look to get payback for their last night's royal blowout and keep their wings in the American League Championship Series. The Royals are 1 win away from a World Series berth, but the Blue Jays came out swinging as Chris Colabello starts things off for Toronto with a solo shot to deep center field in the bottom of the second, and the Blue Jays simply soared from there. Shortstop Troy Tulowitzki steps up to the plate with bases loaded and blasts a 3-run double off the wall in center, putting the Jays up 5-0. In only the bottom of the 6th inning, Toronto would go on to win it 7-1, forcing a Game 6 in Kansas City on Friday. And in other news, over in Windy City, the Cubs are in a win-or-go-home situation against the Mets, but it was hunting season in Chicago and Bears were in season. New York's Lucas Duda has 5 RBIs and Travis d'Arnaud has a solo homer of his own. The Cubs trail the Mets 6-0 in the 4th. Guys, I hope you're not Cubbies fans because it is not looking up for them.
But I want the movie to be right, though. Coming up, a Kentucky University fraternity wins Taylor Swift tickets.
And what's missing from Marty McFly's 2015? Your entertainment news is next.
Welcome back. I'm Brian Beam with your entertainment news. It's every little girl's dream to see Taylor Swift live in concert. Victor Puente shows us how one University of Kentucky fraternity was able to make a few of those dreams become a reality.
The single-take lip dub of Shake It Off got millions of views, but most importantly, it got the attention of Taylor Swift herself.
Yeah, it's been a long way coming. It's crazy. It's been crazy though, really.
She promised the fraternity she would supply tickets for them and their dates. She made good on that promise, and they decided to pass on the good deed.
Well, we all got 2 tickets, so we thought this is just a gift, and it'd be a shame to not do something good with it.
That meant 37 tickets for Lexington's Big Brother, Big Sister program.
Before we could even follow up on it, the fraternity had already reached out to us, and they were like, we want to give you our guest ticket.
Well, I was happy, and it was my first time going to a concert.
So included in the thousands of fans lighting up Rupp Arena were 37 fraternity brothers and the little brothers and sisters they brought with them.
These kids come from different areas and walks of life, so to have this opportunity, it'll be one they might not ever have again.
October 21st, 2015 is known worldwide as the day that Marty McFly and Doc Brown visit in the movie Back to the Future. The movie predicted 2015 would bring hoverboards, self-tying shoes, flying cars, and the Chicago Cubs breaking their 107-year curse by winning the World Series. Nike is currently working on a self-tying shoe prototype, and the engineers are working on creating a fully functioning hoverboard. The flying cars are a long shot, and the Cubs are still in contention to win the World Series. But I talked to my buddy Josh over in the sports department, and his money is on the flying cars. That's all for tonight's NewsLink Indiana Entertainment News. Back to you at the news desk.
Adam, Family Weekend is this weekend. Can you tell me whether am I going to have to tell my mom to bring a coat?
Yeah, Family Weekend is coming up, and if you missed it earlier, I was talking about what the weather's going to be like. Now coming up for this Saturday, we're facing off against Central Michigan. Kickoff time is at 3 p.m. and on that Saturday, we're going to see the scattered rain in the morning and even in the afternoon. So we're at the start of the game and through tailgating, we're going to see some scattered showers in the area. The high will be around 70, but as that cold front's coming through, as you can see on Saturday, I only have a high of 67 just because it's going to cool it down. So throughout the game, you will want to bring that jacket and hoodie just so that you're warm later in the night at the game. And so definitely for this Family Weekend, it'll be nice, but we will have, unfortunately, some rain for the start of the game.
I know, I'm looking forward to it. And that's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to watch tomorrow night at 9 p.m. right here on Cardinal Vision.
And be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Have a good night. And we talk.